to my channel, and if you're new here, I'm very happy to have you here. Welcome to my channel, to our little community. So today I have a very important, highly requested video on my channel. Several of you have been commenting under my videos saying, I'm just starting my perfume collection. I don't know what I'm doing. Where do I start? How do I start a collection? So I thought, you know what? That's a very, very important question. And it's a very, very important topic to discuss. I don't know what took me so long to talk about this. And I know I replied to you all and said, I will be doing a video on that matter. Definitely will be addressing that and doing a dedicated video or two. I will give you my tips and my designer and niche recommendations. I think buying designer fragrances first makes sense when you start a perfume collection, and of course then you delve into the niche world. That's what I think. I think designer is a very good category to start in. It'll give you a lot of experience, so you need to get your nose used to different notes and, you know, become familiar with what you like, what you dislike, and that kind of stuff. So I decided I will give you first my must-have starter designer fragrances today, along with 5 tips that will be very helpful to you in starting a fragrance collection. So if you want to hear what they are, please keep watching. So you guys, before I talk about the must-have designer fragrances to start your collection with, I wanted to let you know that I have 5 great tips for you that I will share with you at the end of this video. So make sure to stay until the end of this video. Watch all the way to the end. I think those tips will be very helpful to you. I actually have more tips. Remember, this is just the designer edition of how to start your fragrance collection. With the niche edition, I will be bringing more tips for you. So without further delay, let's get right into these must-have designer fragrances to start your collection with. So you guys, like I said, I'm going to talk about 10 or 12 designer fragrances to start your collection with, and then I'll bring another video of must-have or starter niche fragrances to start your collection with. Here's my first recommendation to start your collection with in terms of designer fragrances. So every collection should have a fresh fragrance that is perfect for summertime, perfect for sweaty situations, perfect for making you feel fresh and renewed and refreshed. I think this is a staple in any woman's fragrance collection, especially. This is Dolce and Gabbana Light Blue Intense. Oh, this is just a must-have. This is a fragrance you should have in your collection because, like I said, you gotta have one fresh fragrance in your collection when you start your collection. This one is a very citrusy, fresh, musky fragrance. It's also very fruity, aromatic, slightly powdery, slightly woody, and it's green and it has white florals. This is a perfect fresh fragrance for women especially. This is perfect for the summertime, and you gotta have that fresh fragrance in your collection to start your fragrance. This opens with beautiful like lemon, I think, and green apple, and it has marigold and jasmine, I believe, in the middle, and it has like musk and amberwood in the dry down. It's a beautiful, beautiful fragrance. Lasting power is amazing. Sillage is amazing, especially in summer, hot weather, sweaty situations. This is a must-have, a staple in my opinion. This is Dolce & Gabbana Light Blue. Next, I have a fragrance I think is a must-have when you start your fragrance collection. This has been talked about so much, and it's a cult favorite. It is I would say a timeless kind of fragrance. It's a sexy fragrance. This is something I wear on date nights. It is none other than Dior Hypnotic Poison. So this, you guys, is your sexy fragrances. Ooh, to start your collection with. Also, you gotta have a nice vanilla in your collection when you start your collection. Here it is. This is also, vanilla is a top accord in this fragrance, and this is very, very sexy. It is very much a vanilla, sweet, almond, fruity, nutty, powdery, coconut, woody, white floral balsamic fragrance. It is a staple. It opens with gorgeous coconut and juicy plum and I believe apricot. And in the middle you have a gorgeous bunch of white and other florals like lily of the valley, jasmine, there's rose in it. I believe there's a caraway seed note in here, which tends to have a little, slight bit of like a licoricey vibe, which actually blends really well with the other middle notes. There are woody notes in here. There's a massive dose of vanilla in the base. And then there is almond, sandalwood, and musk in the base. This is just a stunner. It is, again, a fragrance that's been talked about so much. It's a cult favorite. It is one of the sexiest fragrances that is a must, a staple in your collection, in my opinion. By the way, this is the Eau de Toilette. This is one of the few occasions I would recommend the Eau de Toilette over Eau de Parfum, because this one is better than the Eau de Parfum in my opinion. This is Dior Hypnotic Poison. Next I have a gorgeous, sexy perfume. In my opinion, again, is a must in your collection to start your fragrance collection with in terms of design of fragrances. This is by Elie Saab. This is Elie Saab, Girl of Now. Guys, this one's a must-have. This one is so sexy. You'd be missing out not to have this fragrance in your collection. And this one also has flankers. There's Girl of Now Shine, Girl of Now Forever, which both are beautiful as well. But I recommend to start your collection with, get the original. The other ones are gorgeous too, but the original, something about it. That pistachio note in here is just stunning, you guys. Like I said, again, this is a very uniquely sexy fragrance. That's what you want. You want bang for your buck. When you start your collection, you want fragrances that packs a punch. You want fragrances that is bang for your buck. This one right here, all of these that I'm talking about, that's what they are. Bang for your buck, and you wouldn't regret purchasing them. This one is a stunning, stunning fragrance. It's a very almond, fruity, nutty, woody, vanilla, amber floral, white floral kind of fragrance. It opens with a gorgeous pistachio note with pear and mandarin orange. Pear is a very feminine top note in women's fragrances. And in the middle you get orange blossom, magnolia, and almond, I believe. And in the base you again get a more almond. So you get pistachio on the top, almond in the middle, almond again in the base, and you get tonka bean for that vanilla scent, and then you get cashmere and patchouli. This is one of my go-to staples whenever I want a sexy fragrance. It is a dumb reach, it's a classic. It is going to be always going to be this unique, amazing, sexy fragrance that is a staple in your collection. This is Girl of Now by Elie Saab. Next, I have an amazing designer fragrance that is really a must in your collection when you start your collection. Either the original or any of the flankers, really. I would recommend any of them. This is none other than Giorgio Armani C. This, you guys, is a stunning, ooh, so stunning. I cannot imagine anybody who wouldn't want this fragrance or who would hate this fragrance. I have been talking about this and its flanker, the Intense, C and C Intense. They both have the same cDNA. This one, oh, the Intense, you guys. This has been my signature fragrance for a very long time. Actually, it's a stunning fragrance. Both of these open with this gorgeous, juicy blackcurrant note that is just so fresh and amazing. There's ambergris in the base, which again gives it that fresh burst of aquatic, marine kind of freshness to this fragrance. These are amazing fragrances for spring and summer, especially, but you can wear them all year round if you want to. They can easily be your signature fragrances because of the fact that they are fresh, but at the same time very long lasting and beast mode when it comes to projection and sillage. So like I said, it starts with this juicy blackcurrant note. and I believe and cassis is in the opening notes too. So it's like a very fresh, juicy opening. And in the middle you get a bunch of beautiful florals like rose and freesia, I believe. And in the base you get that vanilla, ambroxan, which is basically like ambergris, the synthetic version of ambergris. And then there is patchouli in the base, making it very long lasting. There's nothing quite like it, you know, in my collection. And like I said, Si Intense is even more fabulous than the original. And then there's also Si Passione, which is the red bottle. I have that upstairs too. I didn't haul all of them down here, you guys. And I also have Si Absolute, I believe it's called. That one is a little hard to get a hold of now because I don't know if they're discontinuing it or what. You know, fragrance houses have a crazy way of discontinuing good stuff. And then there's Si Fiori, which I also have. That's also upstairs. I basically have the entire Si line, you guys. I will recommend any of them. You know, to start with, I would say either get the original Si or Si Intense. One of these or both of them are basically staples in your collection to start your collection with. Next I have the original and the flanker of another amazing cult favorite. I guess a must-have, a staple in your collection if you want sexy fragrances for date night and any other sexy occasion. So this is by Jean-Paul Gaultier. This is Jean-Paul Gaultier Scandale and Scandale by Night. So again, this one is the original, this one is the flanker. This one has a cherry accord in it and it's a little bit deeper, darker, sexier, the Scandale by Night. I would highly recommend that for more like the colder months. And this one can go all year round at nighttime. This is a nighttime fragrance for sure. This one is a honey bomb. It's a very super sexy fragrance. In my opinion, is a sort of a must to start your collection with. It's a very honey, white floral, sweet, caramel, citrus, animalic, floral, woody scent. It opens with a gorgeous blood orange and mandarin orange citrus opening, which gives into that gorgeous middle with some beautiful white florals like gardenia, jasmine, orange blossom. There's that syrupy honey. There's that peach for that juicy, fruity touch. In the base you get that delicious caramel note, you know, combined with that honey and the beeswax. It's very much gives this fragrance a gourmand twist. There's patchouli for lasting power and there's slight bit of licorice. It is a sexy, sexy fragrance. In my opinion, is a must in your collection to start your collection with. And this one is even sexier than this one. This one tends to be more appropriate for colder months. The honey accord isn't as dominant in this one, the Scandale by Night. I love the cherry accord in this one. Very, very sexy. Either both or one of them must in your collection when you start your collection. Next I have a fragrance that is very much, in my opinion, should be in your collection. It is quite a stunning, very unique fragrance, but you have to be a sandalwood lover to love this fragrance. You gotta love the whipped cream accord. You gotta love the sandalwood accord. That sandalwood, the sensual, beautiful, creamy sandalwood is very, very stunning in this fragrance. This is by Zadig and Voltaire. This is Her by Zadig and Voltaire. Guys, this one has that whipped cream accord with that gorgeous, sensual, creamy sandalwood in the base that just kind of make me like, oh, you know, want to just eat this up. And it's just sexy at the same time. It's a very kind of nutty, gourmand. There's a lactonic accord in here because of that whipped cream. So it's a very nutty, lactonic, like woody, sensual beauty. It's very unique, you know, very confident, unique type of woman would wear this fragrance. Why do I recommend it for everyone? I think this is something that anyone should have unless you absolutely hate sandalwood. But if you love sandalwood, this is a very unique one that you should have in your fragrance because this will turn heads. This is not your run-of-the-mill, everyday, popular fragrance that everybody and their dog will be wearing. You know, this one, you will stand out with this fragrance. So you want to have some head turners, some stand out fragrances in your collection when you start your collection as well. Like I said, this is a very vanilla, sweet, woody, lactonic, nutty, balsamic, powdery, soft, spicy, warm, spicy fragrance. It opens with pink pepper, which is a kind of a sweet, spicy note, with jasmine, and I believe like silk blossom or something. In the middle you get that gorgeous whipped cream note with that vanilla and chestnut, which chestnut adds to that nuttiness in this fragrance. And in the base you get that gorgeous sandalwood and cashmere. And you guys, it's a stunner. It's a standout perfume. Zadig and Voltaire, this is her. Next I have a very pretty fragrance that recently I thought I should add to my list as a must-have collection starter, because this one is another one that you just really can't go wrong with. This is a stunning, beautiful, pretty tuberose bubblegummy scent. This one is actually one of the latest releases, which is a little different from the rest of them here. These are all sort of, you know, veterans. This one is the newest one that I'm talking about today to start your collection with. This is none other than My Way by Giorgio Armani. You guys, I think everybody should have this in their collection. This is a very pretty, pleasant, beautiful fragrance that anyone would love. I cannot think of one person who would hate this fragrance. This is very alluring. You could not go wrong with this fragrance. So that's the kind of fragrances you want to start your collection with, right? You want to have in your arsenal fragrances that are absolutely stunning, that is bang for your buck, and everybody loves and it falls in love with, and they are very sort of captivating, you know? That's what this is. This is as pretty as the color of its juice. It's a gorgeous tuberose scent. There's that slight bubblegummy nuance of the tuberose in this scent that's very stunning. This is, like I said, a very tuberose, white floral, citrus, woody fragrance. It opens with gorgeous orange blossom and bergamot. In the middle you get that massive dose of tuberose that is just stunning, with that Indian jasmine that's just absolutely breathtaking. And the jasmine in here is not indolic. It's a beautiful jasmine. And in the base you get a slight bit of musk, giving it an edge. There's vanilla in the base, of course, and there's cedarwood, I believe, also in the base. This is Giorgio Armani My Way. Next I have a fragrance which is very, 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 very popular. Popular to the point that pretty much a lot of people are wearing it or have worn it. But, you know, it has flankers that are super amazing as well. So if you feel like the original is something that's been worn too much, then you can go for one of the amazing flankers. Yes, I'm talking about none other than Lancome Oud Bouquet. This, you guys, a fragrance, to be quite honest, I still adore. I know it's been worn a lot. Everybody wears it. It's a fragrance that some people are quite sick of right now because of the fact that it's so oversaturated. A lot of people have worn it or wear it still. You know, guys, nonetheless, this is an amazing, amazing fragrance. This is a compliment getter. It can be a signature scent. It goes all year round because of the fact that this has a slight gourmand twist in it. It is just a stunning, feminine, gorgeous fragrance. And that will remain that no matter how popular this becomes and how many people become sick of it, you know what I mean? But if you are sick of it and you don't want to have it in your collection because a lot of people have it, then you can go for one of these two flankers. And it has, I believe, more flankers than this, but these two are my favorite out of all the flankers. This one is Lovely Belle Eclat. This is the white floral heavy version one out of all of them, and this one has a raspberry note in it. This is Lovely Belle Intensement. This one has a raspberry note in it that's very juicy, very fruity. So this is perfect for springtime. So is this, the white floral version, whereas the original kind of goes all year round. This has praline in it, the original. You know, if you don't want to, like I said, go for the original, you can go for one of the flankers. A lot of people love the Eclat. This one, the Eclat, is a orange blossom perfume. All three of them have orange blossom in it. Eclat has orange blossom and other white florals, with a little bit of powdery touch. And Belle Intensement, this one has that raspberry note in the top and also has some powdery notes like heliotrope and iris, I believe, and has like that huge dose of vanilla, I believe benzoin as well. So does this one. This one also has a big dose of vanilla, the Eclat. Both of these are very spring appropriate. One of these should be a must in your starter fragrance collection. Next, I have a fragrance that is a little bit on the higher end. It's actually from the Lancome Privé line, the Maison Lancome line. Like I said, Lancome and Guerlain, those are not designer houses, you guys, but they kind of fall into their own category. But I decided to lump them together with the designer edition of this. So I'm going to include this Maison Lancome recommendation in this edition. So this one is, in my opinion, a must in anyone's collection. It's a classic. At this point, it is the most stunning and innovative rose ever. It's a gorgeous gourmand rose that's perfect for fall and winter, especially because it's beast mode. It is a gorgeous jammy rose. I have never ever seen a jammy rose like this. It's innovative. There hadn't been any kind of jammy gourmand rose like this before this was introduced into the market. This is none other than Maison Lancome Oud Bouquet. This to me, you guys, is a must. Oh my goodness, it is such a delicious jammy rose. There's rose, of course, in here. There's oud, argawood that is. There's praline. There's a huge dose of vanilla. There's saffron in this. This is a stunning fragrance, you guys. The new 2016 edition right here. This has two more woody notes as well, guaiac wood and capajo wood. This was just a game changer in rose scents, you guys. So that's why you need to have this in your collection. And I hesitated to suggest this because I assumed that if you're starting your fragrance collection, you're not going to have a big budget quite yet, or want to have a big budget quite yet because you're just starting out. But I know there are people who are starting fragrance collections that have, you know, have a bigger budget or whatever. So I just wanted to include this in it. So if your budget isn't big, then you can go for the dupe of this, which is a 90% dupe that's amazing actually, by the House of Swiss Arabian. It's called Shaghav Oud. I have it in my collection actually upstairs. Forgot to bring it down here. I will put a picture up here. You can, of course, add that one to your collection, but eventually you need to have this. This is Maison Lancome Oud Bouquet. Next, I have a fragrance from the House of Guerlain. Like I said, Guerlain is not a designer house either, but again, Lancome, Guerlain, those fall into their own category. Since I'm only doing a design and niche edition, I just lumped Guerlain and Lancome with the designer edition. So this one is a very popular fragrance. The reason why I wanted to include this is because it's kind of like unique fragrance. It has a lavender note in it, which you don't quite find very often in fragrances made for women. Beautiful fragrance. It's a vanilla fragrance. This is none other than Mon Guerlain by Guerlain. So this, you guys, is the original that I have right here. I know there's an intense version, which I hear lasts longer than this version. This doesn't have that long of longevity. It's you know, lasts on my skin for about, you know, 3-4 hours. In my closet lasts longer. The intense version I hear lasts longer. I am yet to buy the intense version once I go through half of this bottle. But this one I suggest because it's a very beautiful, beautiful vanilla fragrance with that lavender note in it. It's a very vanilla, woody, lavender, aromatic, powdery, balsamic, sweet, warm, spicy, fresh, spicy, iris kind of scent. It's slightly powdery. This fragrance is quite nice because of the beautiful powdery notes in it. So this opens with that beautiful lavender and bergamot, and in the middle you have iris, rose, and jasmine sambac, I believe. So in the base you get a huge dose of vanilla, tonka bean, and benzoin. They're all vanilla. Well, vanilla is vanilla. You know, tonka beans smell like vanilla, benzoins like vanilla. And then you also get that sensual sandalwood with patchouli. It's a very feminine, very unique fragrance with that very rare kind of lavender note in it. This is Mon Guerlain by Guerlain. I think everyone must have a beautiful musky scent in their collection when they're starting their collection out. And you know, the perfect house for gorgeous musky scents. Yes, Narciso Rodriguez is the house that makes the sexiest musky scents, you guys. And if musk is something that scares you and you don't want to, you know, get something too musky, too strong, well, I have just the right one for you to start your collection with. This is the most friendly to those who want to just explore musky fragrances. The musk in here is very beautiful, very mild, with a bunch of beautiful powdery blue florals and rose. This is none other than Narciso Rodriguez Narciso Rouge. This one, you guys, out of all the Narciso fragrances, I think this one is the mildest when it comes to the musk part of it. This is very powdery, vanilla, musky, woody, iris, rose, sweet, earthy, aromatic violet scent, you guys. Like I said, it opens with a gorgeous Bulgarian rose and iris note. And in the middle you get that gorgeous musk, that sexy musk. And there's a bunch of beautiful white florals like orange blossom tuberose in the middle with that musk. And in the base you get a huge dose of tonka bean and vanilla, white cedar and cedar. There's vetiver, I believe, giving it a slight earthy touch. And then there's that gorgeous sensual sandalwood. It's the most beautiful, beautiful musky, powdery rose scent. I think it's a good one to add as your first musk fragrance. This is Narciso Rouge by Narciso Rodriguez. Next, I have a fragrance I want to recommend from the house of Mugler. I know Alien by Mugler is very popular. That one, to me, to be quite honest, is not my favorite jasmine fragrance. It's a dirty jasmine. It's an indolic jasmine. It's not my kind of favorite fragrance. I know it's a cult favorite, so that's not what I'm going to recommend from that house. But I still think you need to have a Mugler in your collection. And I have an Angel that I will recommend to you to start out your fragrance collection with. Angel Muse by Mugler. This one to me is the most special fragrance by Mugler. This is a hazelnut kind of chocolate fragrance. It smells very sexy, great for date night. It's a very woody, sweet, patchouli, nutty, earthy, warm, spicy, aromatic, chocolate, balsamic, citrus kind of scent, you guys. It's not that complex. It opens with pink pepper and lemon, I believe. Pink pepper is a gorgeous, sweet, spicy note. And then in the middle, you just basically get hazelnut spread, you guys. That chocolate with that nuttiness. And in the base, you get vetiver with that slight earthiness and patchouli for lasting power. This lasts for a long, long time on your skin and clothes. This is Angel Muse by Mugler. I don't really recommend Chanel fragrances, you guys. They're a little bit too vintagey for me, but a lot of people consider them classics and they have to have them in their collection. So if you must have a Chanel, the only one that I recommend to you is Coco Noir. This one is still got that vintage DNA, but it is the one I recommend. I just wanted to throw that in there. So you guys, I have some amazing tips. So guys, when you start a perfume collection, before you even, begin to buy perfumes, there are a few things that you should keep in mind. My number one tip to you is don't buy retail, because none of us do. No matter what they tell you, whether it's your fragrance influencers that you watch or, other people, nobody really wants to pay full price. There are very rare occasions when you have to buy full price, like if it's a new release and it's not available anywhere else and you're a fragrance reviewer, like me. I've bought retail full price fragrances that I wanted to review for you guys. Well, but that's a different story. I'm a fragrance reviewer. But for you guys There's really no reason to buy retail. There are so many legitimate, discounted websites that sell every kind of perfume you can imagine, whether it's designer or niche, name it, luxury perfumes. Many of you know a couple of very famous ones, fragrancenet.com and then Fragrance X. Everybody knows they're legitimate. You can get up to 35% off on fragrances. For example, Tiziana Terenzi fragrances. Even I didn't know at first that they were available actually on Fragrance Net and Fragrance X, actually, especially on Fragrance Net for 35% off. You can just Google it, Fragrance Net discount code, 35% discount code, and you will find it. They change, time to time. Almost always you can buy 30 to 35% off Tiziana Terenzi fragrances on fragrancenet.com. Another amazing website that you can get deep discounts for luxury fragrances like Tiziana Terenzi. You can even buy the Sea Stars collection on this website, or you can buy any designer fragrance, whatever you want, niche fragrances, they sell it all. Fragrancebuy.ca is an amazing place to get deep discounts on your perfumes. Don't fall for companies in the US that are claiming to be the official distributor or whatever, offering you like 20% discount or less. That's not really a discount. That's barely cutting the margin that they've added onto the fragrance price. Fragrancebuy.ca, Fragrance Net, Fragrance X, all those are well-known, legitimate websites that sell real products, and you can get very deep discounts on these websites for any luxury fragrance, including Tiziana Terenzi and the Sea Stars collection. Actually, these websites that I'm mentioning are offering almost 50% discount, sometimes anywhere above 35%. Tip number 2, try to not blind buy. Because you're starting your fragrance collection, you want to save your money. You don't want to be spending a whole lot of money on fragrances that you didn't end up liking. So try and sample them first, you guys. I know before the COVID lockdown, it was so much easier just to walk into a department store, and test fragrances out. That was so much easier. I mean, you can still do that, wear a mask, be cautious. Just walk into a fragrance counter and try and test the fragrances first before you purchase. And then you can also order samples a lot of the times online. There are many websites that are legitimate that sell fragrance samples. Fragrances can be very subjective. What is amazing to me may not be amazing to you. Tip number 3, try and be selective about what kind of fragrances you buy. Don't buy everything that you hear about. When I first started my fragrance collection, I would just buy everything, just everything and anything I heard about. And quickly my collection grew to an unmanageable point with almost 25% of fragrances that I didn't really love. So you don't want to end up there. You want to make sure that you buy fragrances that you absolutely love and that you're going to wear. Because you guys, once you buy fragrances, they're hard to get rid of. Yeah, people resell them on Mercari and other places. I understand that. That is a smart way to get rid of them. But resale value isn't always great. Me personally, I tend to just wear them around the house or running errands and just, run through the bottle and just not repurchase it again. So make sure that you only buy fragrances that you're absolutely going to love. Tip number 4, when you see deals, discounts that are offered by fragrance groups on social media, or a special that like a discount store is offering, try to be very level-headed about that, and don't just buy it just to buy it. You know what I mean? I'm guilty of that. I would buy fragrances that are quite expensive actually, just because there was a deal on it. I'm not sure about this fragrance, but I'm just gonna get it because it's like 35% off right now. So try not to do that, because Again, that will get you a lot of fragrances in your collection that you just end up not touching. Last but not least, tip number 5, don't just buy fragrances because your favorite influencers are buying them. I know it's tempting. Even us, the creators, we can be persuaded by each other, and because someone's buying them, you know, you feel like you want to buy it. I am actually very good at not doing that. I only keep an eye out for what I've already planned on buying, but I try not to be persuaded too much without having enough knowledge of my own. Like, I tend to do a lot of research. Don't just buy fragrances because XYZ reviewer bought it. Remember, fragrances are subjective. So these are my sincere tips, you guys. So don't come for me now if you're someone who likes to spend your money and buy retail and pay top dollar for every fragrance you buy. You walk into Saks Fifth Avenue and you buy it. That is your life and that's your money. But I am going by the assumption that almost all people want to save money. No matter how much money you have, you still want to not waste your money. So that's what I'm going by. So that is all, you guys. Those are all my designer recommendations to start your fragrance collection with. In my eyes, these are must-haves in a collection. And of course, later on, you can add other fragrances to your collection. But this is a good way to start in terms of the designer realm. And I will be bringing you, like I said, the niche edition of this very, very soon. And I will be recommending you at least 10 perfumes that you must have in your collection when you start out your collection, the niche fragrances. So I hope you guys found my tips very helpful, you guys, and found this video helpful overall. I will bring you my niche edition very soon. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and ring that notification bell so you can be notified every time I upload. I will see you guys in my next video.